Welcome to my channel. Today I will build a holder for my charging cables that includes a charging station for my mobile phone. The reason I'm building this holder is that I want to hang up my charging cables for my shaver, toothbrush, and mobile phone. These charging cables are scattered on a dresser today. I'm building the holder mostly from a piece of a shelf that I had left over from another project. I start by cutting the shelf so that I have a piece that is 32 by 18 centimeters. This is the bottom plate of the holder. I continue by cutting two pieces that are 7 centimeters wide and 20 centimeters long. Then I mill a small recess in the bottom plate that will fit the charger for the toothbrush. Not so easy to mill freehand, but it turned out pretty well anyway. Now it's time to start building the cable holders. I start by cutting a piece of purple heart until it is 2 by 2.5 centimeters. Then I take another piece of purple heart and cut it until it is 4 millimeters thick and 4 centimeters wide. I cut the piece that is 2 by 2.5 centimeters into 4 pieces that are 7 centimeters long. Then I cut the piece that is 4 centimeters wide into 4 pieces that are 12 centimeters long. The foot pieces for the cable holders should be round at the top. I take a suitable object that can be used as a template and make round markings on the pieces. Now I do the same thing with the pieces that will sit on the outermost part of the cable holders. When all the markings are done, I carefully cut off the corners with a Japanese saw. Then I use the disc sander to give the corners a nice surface and make them symmetrical. Time to start gluing the pieces together. I start by gluing together the pieces that are 7 and 12 centimeters long. I glue the shorter pieces centered on the longer pieces. Since I don't like sharp edges, I have decided to round off the edges of the top of the bottom plate and all edges of the inner pieces for the cable holders except the side that will be glued to the bottom plate. A little sanding is never a bad thing. I continue to glue together the pieces that will become the cable holders. Found a suitable piece of wood that I can use as a template so that I get the outer pieces perfectly centered on the inner piece. Sometimes it can be good to save a little junk. While the gluing of the cable holders dries, I start with a charging station for the mobile phone. Luckily, I had some old pieces of maple and purple heart saved that measure 1.6 by 0.8 centimeters. Since the width of the pieces is correct, I don't need to use the table saw anymore. I glue these pieces together right away. After the glue has dried and I have sanded the piece, I cut the piece to 18 centimeters. I also cut the remaining piece to a width of 2.5 centimeters. I raise the saw blade to 3 centimeters and place a temporary stop block 3 centimeters from the blade. Once this is done, I make 2 cuts in the piece, one on each side. Now I move the stop block a little bit away from the blade so that the next cut creates exactly the same width as the thickness of the piece I cut off a moment ago. To know how much to move the stop block, I use the other piece as a measurement. Once the cut in the long piece is complete, I cut the piece that is 2.5 centimeters wide on each side to make 2 pieces that are 3 centimeters long, which is the same length as the depth of the cuts I made in the long piece. I glue the 2.5 by 3 centimeter pieces into the recesses on the long piece. It's the small pieces that the mobile phone should stand on when I charge it. Time to attach the cable holders to the bottom plate. I attach each cable holder with glue and 2 screws. I have cut 2 pieces of purple heart that will be feet and glue these to the back of the mobile phone holder. Once the glue has dried, I cut the foot part of the mobile phone holder so that it leans backwards when mounted on the bottom plate. I attach the mobile phone holder with glue and 2 screws. I have cut a piece that is 5.5 by 5 centimeters. In this piece, I plan to attach the connectors to the charging cables. Therefore, I drill 4 holes in the piece, which will fit the 2 connectors. I have attached the piece for the connectors on the bottom plate. Now all that is left is the varnish. I am using epoxy as varnish in this project as well, but this time I have to apply 2 thinner layers instead of 1 thicker layer. If you apply too thickly with epoxy on the cable holders, you will get runs and drips on the lower part of the outer edges. This is what the cable organizer and charging station looks like when it's finished. It's not pretty, but it does its job.